Good morning, Azeroth. It is the 9th of October 2024. Grab your morning beverage and welcome to the stream. The 20th anniversary patch will release on the 22nd of October, 23rd in the EU, assumably. It will come with the Tier 2 remastered models, new events and activities, all sorts of goodies to earn. Today, we'll ourselves be back into the weekly reset, earning some cashes, grabbing some keys, doing a few delves. Without further ado, let's get stuck in. Hope you're all doing well today. You're halfway through the week. Keep yourselves hydrated, sup those beverages. You've got this. Apologies for the slight delay getting the stream started. OBS was giving me a brand new error message. Joys of learning, but we got through. Let's go pick up our weeklies.
Communication.
Follow a dungeon at the meadery.
You are acknowledged.
Now wants me to do time walking, which we won't be doing. No, pet battle one, that's nice for those. Bearing once.
Don't give in to fear.
Ah, I see. At the theatre troupe one, we need to go and do that this morning anyway.
Do you also hear Beladar's song?
How is it? Oh, the show is playing.
Give it strength.
Quickly grab our mining quest.
Communication initiated.
Yep, I've got that for you. There you go, sir. Same with the work orders. Oh, the mounts in the room. There we go. We'll sort those out thereafter. Rush on over to the theatre troupe, get that cash out of the way.
What path brought you here? I need a target.
No, I didn't click it.
Communication.
There, I'm in. Oh, I don't know if I'll have done this.
There are so many. I must heed the call.
No, we're not going to get this. I have joined too late.
We are all slaves.
Curse starting it behind time.
I said we are all
We tried for it. We absolutely tried for it. But that's not going to be enough for either one.
And so the Thragar's adventure
Right, we will have to come back.
before they reach the bottom of the coreway.
That's alright, we can make it back by the end of it.
With this play, we honor the memory of the Thragar and the call they
Did this
heed.
reputation one wants us to do a couple of world quests. Imagine the troop will be back up again at the top of the hour. Just make sure we head in that direction. See what we can assist with here.
Even though the coreway is usable again, there is still plenty of construction work and rubble clearing needed.
Haven't done this one yet. Move speed, obliterate rubble. That is not a big movement speed buff. Oh, we can fly. Try not to move, Gabe.
It's too far
There we go.
away.
That's two. the next one. And one more.
Well
There
done.
we go.
It is going to take years to restore
Eject
the
yourself from the
core
vehicle,
to
screaming
full
optional.
working order, but we have made significant progress.
Well, at least it gives us a parachute. That's very kind. Yeah, next one, top of the hour. Head down to Gundagaz next.
Our miners had to leave their tools behind when the Nerubians attacked.
So we can
Please
pick up that
retrieve them.
snuffling quest. Get that early. And for the anniversary stuff, we know Season 1 will still be ongoing. And whatever currency we'll be able to earn there will be available in most of the Season 1 activities. I'm not sure about PvP yet. Wait and see until more details come out. I'm sure they will in the coming week. Still very excited to see all the different things on offer. I'm hoping if the raid is tied to some of those rewards, that they in the least offer an LFR option, because then I'd be tempted to do so. I'll have to wait and see. I know the not Ashkahet, the syphilis stuff, and Courage, that's the one. It's more like the world stuff. Right, let's go get our Awakening the Machine done.
Let's get this
Come on,
done.
Codrus, let's get in there.
That works.
We know the drill. Ain't a difficult one.
Measure twice. Cut what? Watch my back while I commune with the machine.
I know, it's a pretty standard activity. At the moment, it's mainly just to get these caches, have more keys to do the Bountiful Delves with. We are starting to get an excess supply of those. Oh no, we're just on the 4. We're keeping like a week ahead of it. Which is good. Who knows what will happen in life? Maybe something will come up and it'll be more difficult in a week. All horrendously ill. Oh, don't need to damage that one. Bap. You've all heard how I feel about this one. It's alright. I don't mind doing it on other classes just to see. Especially while gearing up. To have the luxury of plate and off healing. I wonder how long it'll take them to make any changes to this one. I think it might be like a Dragonflight situation. I don't know if they'll have like an awakened patch cycle, which was at the end of Dragonflight, and I believe Shadowlands before it. There was a full patch which bumped up, at least for Dragonflight, the item level rewards from all these events, got them going a little quicker on the day-to-day, made it so it would rotate the raids in LFR, so they'd be at a higher item level, give better rewards, that kind of thing. Very curious how they do that here. Somewhat curious to go into an LFR just to have a look. I'm sure it often becomes a bit of a steamroll, especially as the weeks go by. At some point we'll have a glance in there. Clear out these beams. beamed Culdrus. Boop. Yep. But we're alright. Out of the way.
Hope you brought tools.
More big robots. Grab the tiny ones. Not sure what triggers that 4 blob above my head to turn into the pool on the floor.
Measure twice, watch my back while I commune with the machine.
I know, I know. Very nice. Of all this stuff coming in the anniversary patch, there's quite a lot of class changes coming as well. Some I think we'll be more excited about. I know the Dark Ranger Demon Hunters are getting all kinds of goodies being changed in those hero talents. Shaman as well, getting those new ascended forms. If you didn't see, had like crazy, like not even just spiked up hair, like mad exploded hair. Some crazy scientist. I thought they looked alright, but they added they listened to feedback and did a change where that hair will now be more reined in. However, for those who liked it, I'm going to pop a glyph out there so you can pick and choose. And also have one for the older cosmetic of it as well, which I think just giving people the choice and the option is always a good thing. Make you explode. Just more customization is always a plus. I don't know how well glyphs get served expansion to expansion. I never end up leveling my inscription enough to know for sure. The inscriptor out there, you'll have to let me know how that holds up for you. Do they do cosmetic ones every so often, or is it just the crafting of trinkets and whatever on earth the deck of cards are that I never understand? Every single expansion of this game I've never understood. I've looted plenty of them, getting a Wood of Fire or what have you, but I never know what the actual use is for. I think it's to make a trinket. Never done a deep dive reading into them. Explode over here, please. You explode over here. Everybody else all rounded up. Boop. I like the music in here though, to be fair. To be fair to it. It's very auspicious, like we're building, getting stuff ready. Industry is happening. Oh, that time it did it. Is it being struck by the beam? I wonder. Whilst on fire. sure these blow up on that. We'll either lock down. Void.
It's too far away.
We should have some self-preservation, mate. I mean, it is walking away. Trundling away. Alright, and the big one. Turn spider. Big boost of strength. And bring him down. Also very unceremonious how it kind of boots you straight out. And you want it to be quick when you're just in there to grab that those treasure chests for the week. Right, let's grab our chest. Stuff. I do like stuff in this game. Lovely. Snuffling treasures upgrade. Ooh, that's nice. Does that mean instead of one Valor Stone we'll get two? And that first one in. Spear. One way out of the getting. Alright. I assume that thing's the world boss. I needed to go to Ashgate to pick up the world buff. Yeah, it looks like it. We'll head vaguely in that direction. Do that Radiant Echoes event as we go. Still need to do another world quest. Who's got some Valor Stones? You got some Valor Stones.
Didn't get the message. These are earthen resources.
On Snufflers. Always gotta be cleaning them out. There we go. Make sure our fellow world player here gets their tags.
I can't carry any more of those.
Oh, right, that dude's junk. Still a thing. Feels like something they could have hotfixed out. Like, once done quest, tick box, do not loot garbage junk. That sells for what, a copper a piece? Yeah. Nice that at the moment in the game, this feels like the only mandatory stuff each week is getting these caches to do delves. Now imagine for a player who wasn't doing delves, like, you wouldn't even need those coffer keys. Yep, OBS, don't you start again. Don't you start giving me stuff again. Let me seem alright. It's not on fire this time. I don't know what the issue was prior. It was like every time I tried to create the stream, it was saying, stream associated with the thumbnail cannot be found, error message. Then I'd go onto YouTube and the stream would be scheduled, upcoming. And by the end of it, it created 4 streams. I was sat here going, oh no. I turned OBS on and off again and it worked. I imagine YouTube didn't look kindly on the fact there was just 4 of them back to back. Oh, technology. When would things ever work well the first time? To be fair, it has been fine for us once the initial testing and stuff before July got underway. It's been fine ever since. Oh, those
Mission accomplished.
sound like the
Thank
world
you for
boss
doing
getting
what
set up.
needed to be
We
done.
should head down there pretty quick. You can always wind back up again for the Echo event. Yeah, it's easy enough if we miss it, we can just find a group. There's usually one going. Especially earlier in the day, it's the silly AM times where there tends not to be a group about. But especially on reset day, that's when a lot of folks, I think, like we're doing, get on and
I
sort themselves
admire
out.
How you handle yourself on the battlefield. Some intruders need to see another demonstration of your skill.
I assume that's what they're doing here. We're just escorting these breakers to the boss. Come on, Goblin Tech. Plump your way through. I hold this through my hand. It's that archaic part of WoW of tying items to a character. I imagine sorting such things to make it look a little more natural would require some big behind the scenes changes. It's always very difficult. Oh, hello. Ding. Nearly there. I haven't seen this one yet. I've seen the other two. The big goo thing, big robot. People not be bothered grabbing the other ones? Oh, we're there. Some off healing and make sure they survive. There doesn't seem to be a healer about at the moment, but that'll do. And there's enough folks here now, it should be fine. Ground pound, which brought up some scarding. Go get a weed. Pretty quickly down. Wonder what those void rocks do. People are in them, so I assume they were all going to explode.
consideration for your swift resolution.
Hey, just gold for me today.
Those poor Earthen didn't deserve to become whatever that was.
There we go. Job done. Goddamn easy mine. Alright, let's move back on to another thing. To the memory, which while we're here, might as well. Where are you? We'll bump on the difficult one because why not? Grab as many of these as we can. More valor stones and parts of coffer keys. I don't mind these events. I like the idea of peering into the history of the world and learning a little bit. I wish they had a little more story behind them, because what's there is kind of difficult to... You don't get much time to take in. And some are pretty self-explanatory, like this one is just, this is the dinosaur times. This is old as hell. Come here, big un.
I need to get closer. It's too far away.
Stand in it, as Bram would say. I interrupted game. Mayhaps I wasn't close enough. It's one of those where the hitbox is deceptively small. Prepare a quick heal. Killer instinct. Do 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 do. I don't have much frame of reference for the original fighting game, but the one that came out on the Xbox One around its launch, I have a lot of fondness for. I loved its theme music. Absolutely delightful. I had a lot of good times playing that. Intended to play as Saber Wolf. To rush down on people. Using that taunt button to howl too often. It wasn't great at the game. Especially when you had to take into account like the whole combo breaker system. Like trying to guess or read what your opponent was doing. Upset their combos to break in and do your own. I loved it design wise, I just was terrible at executing it. Get out of here. I had one fighting game up on the channel with the 2XKO alpha test. That was a lot of fun. Approach to accessibility to a fighting game, I think, benefited it extremely well. Now don't stand in the poop. Too many beams. Right, what can I grab in 20 seconds? Not much. Five seconds? I don't think I'm doing it. You can try. Nope, it's already over. There we go. 250 Valor Stones, 105 copper keys. A good chunk of Valor Stones is that. I assume these echoes, yeah, they are soulbound, so we can't like send them over to an alt for them to do it. Unfortunately. That'd be nice. Right, let us head over to Hello Fall to defend the light a little bit. And then they've got the special assignment quest over there as well. Get those out of the way. Keep working on these caches. Double check something over on Abath. Yeah, no, that's
We've
fine.
got another incursion.
Just
And we
paranoid
need
about the damn
some
thing now.
defenders. I know you're good at this.
I know, Brimf, we have been trying our best to be an excellent ally to the Earthen. One day, may you speak with the same enthusiasm. Maybe that's unfair on the Earthen. Imagine that wasn't an easy choice. Like, oh, it fits lore-wise, but can we have the monotone carry? I think for the major beasts, they manage it for the most part. But it certainly makes them struggle to leave as much of an impression as some very boisterous characters have in the past. Ooh, bonus chunk. Don't see that very often. Gib. Grab a bit of wax. Our renown did go up to give us bonus to snuffling rewards, so curious to see what those are. Usually this one only gives me the rewards like twice. I imagine a third time will render us naught. Yeah, it's only worth going up on them twice. I saw another bit of wax. Oh, we have that. We do not. Don't know what that honey's used for. The cover of this book has an elaborate drawing of a large shadowy creature on it, with a group of ferocious holy flame wielders driving it back. This particular tome has many annotations, marks and notes indicating significant use, and frequent referral to certain sections of rules. Flip to the first one. Character classes. The Noble Cleric, Valiant Knight, and the Stalwart Castle represent the classes available to you for Light's Gambit. More classes coming in a future supplement. That's cute.
The lamplighters are stretched thin.
An annotation
For the
reads,
Arathi
unlikely to
survive,
get supplement
we
from...
must
Ah!
settle in lands shadowed from
Grab
Belladar's
that.
light.
Keep half an eye on
The darkness
folks summoning the
strikes
rarer
out with
beasts
threats
just while I
not even
read
our
this.
key flames can dispel. Aid us,
Hold here for a
outsider.
moment.
be our beacon in
Wanna
the
read?
darkness.
You must combine these against Light's Gambit Master to overthrow any challenge they throw at you. Enhancing Light's Gambit. While combat is very important in Light's Gambit, the game is significantly improved by putting yourself in the shoes of your pieces and playing their role. While it's comfortable for everyone on their first go, we recommend at least trying it. If it's not for you though, don't worry. You can enjoy Light's Gambit the way you want to enjoy it. Obscure rules interaction. The For the Flame feat allows you to replace your move action with another action attack. Your piece becomes rooted in place for a reason. You cannot replace its move action with an attack action. An annotation reads, "This is dumb. Rooting just stops you from moving. It doesn't stop you from being able to act. We're house ruling it that you can still replace the move action." Feels very homebrew D&D, which I like. The book is filled with similar rules, commentary and annotations which seem to agree or disagree with the rules to varying degrees. Seems like the version of Light's Gambit played in Hammerfall is a heavily modified version of regular Light's Gambit. Oh. I like that a lot. This big fire. This one not big fire. Need to light the smaller ones, don't I? Hello, chef.
What was lost, I have found. Take a look while you can.
We might as well do a few while we're here. How many have I got? I got loads of these damn things. Let's get this one fueled up. Right, add all button. Fill whole thing, please. Goes dim. What do you mean? Just lit the damn thing.
The mushrooms choke the life out of crops and
There we go.
farmlands alike.
That stacks another quest on top of it.
To be Arathi in every sense.
Ooh. Glass Eye. It's quite a valuable item. Perhaps Alia Hilheim might know who has lost it. Sure. And that back to him.
I'm out of range.
I hope they take the concept for this area further still in future.
I can't attack that.
I'm not trying to attack it, I'm trying to pull it from the ground. That one seems to be a lost cause for whatever reason.
It's too far away. I need the target. I need the target.
Oh, I love that sound from Blood Death Knights, that squeesh noise.
I'm out of range.
Oh, he's running away. Oh yeah, we can grab that one over there with those kids as well. I believe they wanted some turnips pulling. There we go.
Grown-ups say, be
Nice,
careful
squashing
with
the
dog.
fret.
Only play when it's day, because at night.
Why can't I pull out the roots? What's happening there? Oh, that was one of those tug it and walk away type deals. Hmm. Hope you get squash. Druid just beaming everything. Morning Andy in the chat. It's going alright today. A little bit of a rough start on the stream, but we got through the technical issues in the end. How are you today? Got yourself a warm beverage, I hope?
I need to get closer.
We continue to boot mushrooms. Grab another squash. Morning, Mac. Hope you're doing well and all. Have yourself your beverage. Chef, I don't think this one's working. Try again.
The shadows contain many terrors. My store, only a few.
I'm glad to hear it, Andy, and glad to entertain you while you're at work. Still not doing it. Probably misremembering something. Give me an item to pull them out or something of that nature. No, it did not. It doesn't want to work. It doesn't want to work. Not married to the chef quest. We can move on. Oh, bit of wax. It's another of the jump pads.
I need to get closer.
No lashings, thank you.
With the lash rooms driven back, our farms can heal from their blight. Your courage brings hope to these shadowed lands.
No wax. Robbed. I didn't really get a good look at what the upgrades will have been from that reputation increase. This will be easier to get a read on. Let's see. I mean, that didn't seem like we got many more of anything. Still one wax. Still like one bit of something else. 10 crystals. Right, chef. You can sod off for now if you're not gonna function for whatever reason. We'll just help the kids get their squash up. Do you eat squash? You ask me that every time, child, and I tell you, on occasion. Got one more.
Aj Kahet is at war with us on both battlefield and farm. Their saboteurs taint and corrupt our fields.
Oh, this is the one where you get a pickaxe and boot them out of the ground. Oh, a lunchbox. There's a lot of not lunch in that lunchbox. There we go. It's all the squash. Get out of here. Pull it over to the other one. There you go. He's down. Speaking of a hot drink, let's have a swig of his beverage. Oh, it's lukewarm already. Sadness. Oh, still important though. Three more. Two more. Where are those rocky spots? Big swing. Running over to the last one. Bear in mind it's about 10 minutes until the theatre troupe come back and we can actually go and finish it this time. Grabbing those caches.
Beladar's light coalesces into radiant remnants. Once gathered, it becomes hope for the Arathi.
Still haven't had any of the rare creatures bob up yet.
To maintain the key flame requires amassing a reserve of radiant remnants. Search the area. Gather the remnants from
That was
the
odd. It
land,
tried to re-give me the
or
quest.
take them from monstrous clutches.
There you go, child.
I
Squashed
can hide in the
indeed.
dark.
I believe the trigger for them is whenever these timers count down, that's when the boss ones show up.
There is
Hey, look.
always hope if we
Is that
choose
Uncle
to look
Thomas's
for it.
eye? He has a habit of misplacing it whenever he ventures out for a stroll in the fields.
We're all down here together.
Difficult fields to stroll, I'm sure. Minutes on that one.
The harvesters work the land with the strength of 10 Arathi, yet the shadow corrupts even our machines. Search the surrounding area for salvageable.
No,
plants.
tinnitus, thank you.
With them,
Cleanse that.
we will make a garden deep under Azeroth.
Yep. Maybe it was the effects of prolonged darkness or tinkering by Ezig Iron Gear. The strength of the spring would be of interest to Speaker Culdress in Gundred Gars. Well, we'll be heading back there after we do all our snuffling.
We are the
Grab this while we're
holders
here.
of hope.
Cover seeds, plant them in the soil. We've done most of these before. I do miss going through and reading all the quest texts and doing silly voices, but the moment there's more story content, we will get back to that. I know there's going to be a tiny bit from what folks have found out about the 20th anniversary patch. There'll obviously be all those quests and the NPCs and the events over there. There will be some hints at the story going forward if data mining's to be believed. I don't look at it too closely, I just hear a few bits every now and then. Very curious as to where we go next. A lot of people are still thinking Undermine and Goblin things. It's looking like it might be a joint thing between them and the Arathi. We'll have to see. Certainly need a few more Horde characters stepping up, or given the opportunity, I should say, to step up to the plate. Because for all the advertising and having Thrall on a lot of the key art, didn't get too much. It's a very regular occurrence, Andy, just the turnaround. Oh, right. I had a warm beverage, and not so warm beverage. Much sadness. You'd think we'd learn over time, but nay, we never do. Pull this back. There we go. Grab some more seeds. There we go. These bags of seeds all over the shop. Reset day always seems the best if you want to get these things done with loads of folks about.
With uncorrupted
Makes it a little
harvesters,
quicker.
We can retake these fields and feed the towns of Hallowfall.
I know, Chiron, but I'm looking for your seeds at the moment. There's one. It says they drop off the harvesters, but they didn't seem to. No, Ram is in the chat. Unfamiliar with emotes enough to see the kitty ooh, but I'll take it as a positive.
Hostile entity identified.
Just need your seeds, Golem, please. Stop giving me tinnitus. Still not dropping any seeds. More of an eye for the bags. Five. Ooh, something stirs in the front, in the pond. That's the big fella up here, isn't it? Yep. I'm glad it gives those little notifications. That's one or two. Ooh, warbound. Pop that over there for now. They open these lamplighter caches. Will this one drop a seed? No! Absolutely full of it game. We're mainly just waiting on the bags to spawn. That one dropped some. We'll take good fortune when it arises. It'd be nice if it lasted more than one. You'd think a bag of seeds would have more than a single seed in it. Limitations of Halo 4's ability and technology. Jump in with this druid. Let them take the brunt of the claws. Something else spawned. Oh, sorry, pigs. Wait, whatever quest spawned on them then disappeared. I believe I just needed to be a little more to the left. Then we just end up culling the whole field. Oh no. None of them dropped any meat. Probably the most bizarre thing. As I'll turn into our spider. Got this little whispering crystal on here. It's one of those buff gems. I know there's a word for it that you get or can get through each expansion, but I never bothered to go and get any, so I've just got the one from Wrath with like 15 main stat, which is admittedly sod all. I like just having it and clicking it. Take 15 strength, thank you very much. I know they have a proper name. I remember it one of these days. Guardian elixir and battle elixirs, that was what they were. On, drop your seed bag.
System reset required.
Huzzah. Here we go.
We burn brightly together. If the shadows find you,
Oh, a bit
To
of
maintain
wax.
the key flame requires amassing
Delicious.
a reserve of radiant remnants.
Right,
Search
this
the
one's
area,
almost out.
Gather the remnants from the land, or take them from monstrous clutches.
I'll light this one up. To get our radiant cash.
You may not share
There we
our
go.
faith, but your valor is a beacon that rivals the key flame. You have our gratitude.
Oh, bit of warbound something or other for the bank. Desperately need to get my enchanter into war within stuff so I can start disenchanting all of the stuff. Our war bank is getting pretty full at this point. See if we can spot any of the other rares, or if we're just going to be waiting for that Dark Harvester to turn up. What was that at? 4 minutes on that one, but it was 3 minutes on the other. Oh, 1 minute on this one, so that means that big plant's going to spawn. "50 seconds. Make sure this is all junk. Yep. Grab that bit of ore. Delicious. 20 seconds. I wonder if that bug's still in with the rated button on PvP. Oh, no, it looks like they fixed it. Oh, and the PvP brawl is classic Ashran. Battle that never ends. It's weird, these classic versions of brawls. It's like they're saying, we understand the base one is broken. Therefore, have one that isn't, but we're not going to fix the old one because people want fast. I don't know. Just feels against the point for me. But we'll get back to PvPing on our Evoker on... probably on Friday, and then back at the start of next week. Doing the solo blitz has been quite fun. It's a learning experience. But I do want at least the Evoker, if not a few other classes, to be able to earn some of those elite transmogs. They're very nice. Don't really care for the one on the Paladin. Again, I'm not a fan of like the Legion Green. So it's mainly just the Evoker, the Druid, and the Mage. The three that stand out the most.
Take your lead.
The Warbound bit, a dagger. Fancy dagger. Alright. That's us sorted in Hallowfall. We can do a couple of world quests to grab the Lynx one. Let's see. Kill some Koibis. And do those spores. There's my ore, I've not overloaded. Come here. Grab the spiders. See you, spider. Oh, come on, horse. There we are. Oh, that other spider. No, it phased out. Take this tiny box while we're here. We might as well. Yoink. Oh. Look, it must be important to someone. Maybe Alia Hilhelm can shed some light on it. I will quickly jump back and give her this. I don't know if it respawns those little drop-in quests, or if there's a set number of them you can get per character, maybe.
I
Found it. That's Lily's locket. She lost it around the time of Aunt Greta's accident. We've been searching everywhere for it. Well, there you go. Well, rep, how are we looking on Hallowfall? That was the one we had highest, yeah. 19 on Hallowfall, 15 on Council at Donegal, 16 in the Deep, 15 on the Severed Thread. Max is 25, isn't it? Yes, it is. Again, the fact we can earn it on alts is delightful. What slowed me down on Dragonflight. Initially kind of leveled them all as quickly as possible to get to the story stuff. And then once it became clear that it was going to turn into a slog for the rest of them, didn't end up doing much more. I wasn't too bothered to grind out the reputations. I did very little of the niffing. Didn't play much on that patch, unfortunately. But it were alright. I enjoyed the story there, but I didn't spend the time doing the treasures and other little events they had in the zone. At least until the, what was it called? The Awakening patch, or that last, like, hurrah they did. It's enjoyable enough, but hey up. That Koibus just exploded. Doing this on war mode was a lot more stressful on our poor evoker. Kept getting booped. We did see like a low level, like a level 75, 76 druid getting attacked by other players though, and managed to save them and kill the 2 players attacking them. That felt good. Although most of the time it is me just getting completely booped in the snoot.
I'm out of range.
Oh yep, that bloodthirsty little girl's here again.
I like it when the star shines. Know what to do.
Like that we can tell her to head back. Grab that one, grab that one. Kill the very angry cannibal necromancy fish people. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of them in whatever undergroundy zone ends up happening. Over the 0.1 patch or wherever else. Curious, what's most folks' day to day when you jump on for your weeklies? Is it the same of grabbing caches and keys? How are you preparing for like mythic dungeons, stuff like that? As a part of the game I don't engage with. For those who are like progressing raids right now or pushing higher up in those mythic difficulties and the dungeons, the keys and keystones, whole system I've never really engaged with. Is it very much the same, I wonder? Is it still worth going and getting these caches? Are delves still doing it for you? Or is mythic gear starting replacing things? No, the delves kind of cap out at heroic raid level. 616, we got a couple of those. Like a ring. I can only upgrade them to the 4 out of 6, and then the next upgrade material is something I can't get a hold of from the content I've been doing. So it's kind of a hard stop there, which is fine. I'm just happy for a more solo-friendly piece of content to be awarding me a bit of gear progression. Now I actually care about that part of the game again. To a degree.
Beyond the reach of Beladar's light, they will fill
Like the moment, I think it was in Wrath, where they added Group Finder, they added achievements for raids and stuff, I immediately stopped caring about item level, because it was like the first, oh, it was like the Argent Crusade in the tournament. Anyone remembers jousting on the different mounts for your different races and factions? It was a lot of fun, by the way. That was a decent little event. But that's when you started getting, can't come join raid unless you have cleared all the achievements. It's like, it's day 1. What do you mean? Must know how to do fight, must know how to do video game, and it I want to come in, I want to see the raid, I want to learn. I was pretty young back then, so it's just maddening. And then even for like the dungeons, it's the same thing. Have this item level, have cleared out this, don't be this. If you're playing as this spec, you're not welcome. And those kind of thoughts and aspects of the community carried on ever since. I think it's a real shame. It pushed a lot of people, like myself included, from wanting to ever do group content. Over the years, especially as resources got more what's the word? Got more detailed online. You see a lot more nowadays, and if you follow WoW, your feed is often full of stuff like best way to gear, best rate of rotation, best spec to play, highest damage. And I think a lot of folks conflate the idea of there's a way the best players in the world play, and things and add-ons they use and utilize. But a lot of that is because they understand how a lot of these things work. And any game these days, folks tend to rampantly copy all that without a real understanding of why. And then start having a go at people from a place of arrogance rather than actual understanding, and it's unfortunately a part of just video games these days. And while it shouldn't be on developers to have to make ways around that for people to feel comfortable, they're left with little choice when a huge portion, maybe it's not huge, maybe it's just a loud minority, but unless we ever have the numbers, it's hard to say, end up creating those unfortunate scenarios.
Some links get lost in the darkness.
I'm surprised here, Remis, that happened in Classic.
But it's dangerous.
I never went back and tried Classic, but I wouldn't be surprised if such mentalities occurred there as well. Which is even more of a shame, because Classic was that whole focus on, oh, we needed to be a community, we needed to have folks working together, so that'd be upsetting. See, Andy, that's the thing. I think you need that. If you want to play group content and enjoy it, you either have to be a part of the problem or not care enough about what may get thrown your way, or as you say, have yourself a guild with folks who'll play with you and have a good time. I think that's the way to go, especially for most folks. For me, I am just glad to be catered to more than ever in the War Within as a more solo player. I say, like, I use the word casual, but it's like if I play, 3 to 4 hours a day, is that casual these days? Might be casual for, like, a really hard-going WoW fan. But with someone with, like, a full-time job that isn't streaming, with a family, how many hours are you going to realistically get on in a week? That's where your real casual comes in. I think Delves, a lot of these different catch-up systems, and it being very alt-friendly certainly helps with that. And follower dungeons. Oh, to be able to go into dungeons again. In Dragonflight, it was like I went into each one once. Got the story quest done very begrudgingly. But here, I'm happy to even do the weekly quest for him, because I can just do the follower dungeon, see the story, have a great time. And the story mode for the raid was alright. Let me see the cutscene in-game. That was nice. And a bit of the final boss fight. I just wish I could have seen more of the raid. Like, let it be the whole thing. And more of the mechanics. Like, I don't need to be rewarded good gear. I'm not expecting to get gear that good. I'd just love to see it more. Same in follower dungeons. If you want to let me up the difficulty of it without giving me the rewards, I just want to be able to see it. I know there's problems with getting the AI to work for that kind of thing. And there's probably a lot more considerations on the back end that Blizzard would have to deal with. But I would love the ability to see it more. And it might give some folks the confidence to jump into group stuff, but for me, who's never really going to, at least at the moment, I'd love to see that side of the game without the stress and pressures that come with it. And I don't need to be rewarded for it. Seeing it is its reward for me. Engaging with mechanics I don't see very often is the reward. Like the Dawnbreaker dungeon, for example, feels really cool. I'd love to know how crazy it gets on Mythic. But without having to just watch it on YouTube. Hi, Andy. I 100% agree. 100%. I think the roughest part for that toxicity, both in WoW and in games in general, whether they're PvE or PvP, is that kind of toxicity will never hold itself to account. I've seen it with smaller games, with much smaller player bases, and giant games as well. Something like Lost Ark, or a small game called Century Age of Ashes on Steam, which is like an aerial dragon combat game that's free to play. I have a really good time with that over the pandemic, and still enjoy going back to it from time to time. But if your community refuses to engage in ways to encourage new players, to bring people up, rather than just the top end being like, no, let's group up and just absolutely murder newer players, let's not get them in. Or in Lost Ark's case, it's like a fight comes out and people just start screaming, you know the tactics, you know the gear, you're playing this spec. Same way WoW does. It doesn't foster a community, it doesn't keep people around, it just leads everyone into this really weird, elitist, snobby... I don't know. Boggles the mind. And there's an extra layer to that in PvP games where folks will get really aggro when they start losing, and then either rage quit or scream at other people. And to me it's wild, because I'm like, do you expect to win every single fight? Do you expect every video game that you play that's against other people to win? Is your win-loss ratio, your KDA, so important that you have to either rage quit or be shitty to other people? Boggles the mind. Keep bringing the Weaver up. I suppose that's why we saw, what's his name? Harada, who created and runs the Tekken series, say, you don't see people playing fighting games as much in this modern era because, and this is what he said, I think, because they don't want to have the responsibility of being the one who loses on their own. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Oh, another special assignment. Yes, we'll do that. Let's go and do some world quests for him. Rack a hat. The best named places by size Guntergas. Oh. Warsun Gulch. I still enjoy Warsun Gulch now. In game I have the chat turned off, so I couldn't say anymore where it's at.
It would be terribly...
Certainly that sense of camaraderie was a lot more palpable. I think it is nice though that I didn't even realise before this expansion Warsun Gulch had a visual update, which may have happened in Battle for Azeroth? I don't know. I wasn't sure. But seeing it, it was like, oh, this is nice. And same for Arathi Basin. Then you get back to Alterac Valley and you go, oh boy. Both mechanics-wise, how to encourage players to actually fight each other and not rush past each other. Ashram was worse for that, as we said earlier as well. I know they take more time to overhaul visually. I think maybe Eye of the Storm might get an update with Midnight, just because of the Blood Elf stuff that they're doing. Now, I was with you there, Andy, I was with you. However, the solo blitz mode, I have found, like, even with chat turned off, the arena solo shuffle is still a nightmare to me. Like, just anxiety creeps in, it's like, oh, everything matters in a way that is way too much. But the solo blitz, again, I couldn't say with chat turned on, I wouldn't know. I imagine it is not great with the chat turned on. But with it off, been doing alright on the Evoker and on, let me see. Yeah, I did a little bit on my Paladin here. 8 games, 1 out of 19, so not overall, but the rating got 1, 2, 3, 8. And I was this was just testing and seeing how it worked on the main. For the Evoker, I want to get them up to the point of having that elite transmog, and that feels like an actual obtainable goal now, rather than, oh, either I go through the hellscape, that is solo shuffle arena, or I find a group. But solo blitz actually feels good for it. I would recommend it as well. Like, getting honor gear was really quick doing the regular battlegrounds. And on the Evoker, I ended up just doing a lot of battlegrounds while leveling. And then, by the time I hit max level, I had enough to get a full set. Oh. Wax for Janky. Take that. But we had a full set of PvP gear at that point. And so it meant jumping straight in and trying to earn the others. And the war mode stuff and getting those sparks of life for those bloody tokens was also a pretty quick process. One thing that I really appreciated about that was when you do your snuffling, you know, you're picking up your wax, you get the sparks of life you need when you're in war mode doing those. So that helped gearing up as well. And the Conquest catch-up is pretty reasonable. Yeah, that's what I mean by those bloody tokens. Which is decent. It's only like 3 item levels behind the Conquest stuff as well. And of course you can use your catalyst to make yourself a class set for it. Which I'm waiting until I get more of the Conquest gear on the Evoker, and then so I don't waste those harmonized silks.
Fine work for an overcrawler.
You're always so rude to me, Anubazar.
It's too far away.
Yes, thank you, Ramis. I realised that as I was running around, like, I'm throwing these webs on things and nothing is happening. I'll get used to multitasking eventually. Again, even though it's still a bit of a struggle to understand just how much other classes are capable of, and having that game knowledge just takes a while to build up, expansion to expansion. It's never felt more easy as a solo player to want to try and get into PvP. Again, like last time I PvP'd in Wrath, I PvP'd in Cataclysm, and probably did the best in Mists. Me and a friend did some 2v2 arena and got like a few pieces of the elite set back then. And I was like, I got the helmet and the shoulder pads back when you could kind of pick from the get-go, which I'm glad they've come back to this expansion. The ways of it being randomized before was just unpleasant to deal with. Where was it? Let me see if I can find it. Be in shoulder pads somewhere. Transmog's the main reason I've stuck with this game for so long. I adore it. There, that one. Then the helmet that came with it. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. So those two. Very happy to earn back in the day. Again, the only ones I did. But now it feels like I can actually get to it again. And make decent progress. Both of these drop this waxy secretion. Whatever this side quest is. Or it's Janky's wax. 2 more.
I need to get closer.
And what should be the last one? Nay. Robbed. I forgot to run back to the theatre, truth. I'll have to wait till the top of the next hour. It's alright. Alright, and then I assume we take that to Tornagal. Oh. one more world quest. Do the coffer keys down there. And we'll need to do the other one as well, just for
incompetence has allowed skitterlings to invade my threadling hollows. Deal with the thieves.
Getting the
Protect my investment.
Eyes of the Weaver full up. Protect the eggs. I wonder if that's something spiders actually do. Like somewhere in the world, a spider coats its eggs in venom, and therefore they are safer. I think they come up with the ideas for these quests somewhere. Whichever quest writers and designers have to work together to figure that out. I always find it fun to... I wish at times... Not that devs did like full breakdowns on like quest design necessarily, though that'd be interesting. Just to be a fly on the wall, while two designers are sat there like, we've got this Nerubian bit, and we don't just want it to go kill 10 spiders. What can we do with these eggs that isn't popping them like usual? I know, it's those aspects of like the minutiae of game design that have always fascinated me. It's the parts we don't hear about much either. The really nitty gritty of it. Right, that's one more cage. Be free, spider. One more egg. Get globbed.
Rakusha's swarm beasts are imperative to the war effort. I expect them to be treated as such.
Grab this all while we're here. Might as well keep stocking up. Lovely. We'll grab this race quest as well. And we need our activities done for the Weaver.
Join us, and we can see how your skills are coming along.
Andistraz, always a delight to hear your voice. First thing in the morning. He's a lovely fellow. Now I expect he'll be doing these races for the whole trilogy to come. My goodness, champion. Fly around that Titan as it tries to swap you out of the air and beat you to the ground. It's kind of become his thing. I know, like, they're going to replace, say, Bran as the Delve Companion. But having him do that has kind of become a permanent thing for Andistraz. Well, the dragon racing and the flying challenges like this aren't necessarily my cup of tea. I like that they're in the game. I like breaking up the pace of the content like that. I wish for folks who really loved it, they had a bit more content there. I know they've got the different types of courses and they have the events like the Northrend Cup and stuff like that to earn other transmogs and goodies. But I still didn't realise, like, there isn't, like, group races yet, right? They haven't got to that point with it.
Excellent work. I can see that the two of you
You can just kind of be like, oh, my time is faster than yours type deal. You can't really do a proper race together. It'd be nice to see them expand it for folks there. I know for the anniversary quest, they're giving Drakfir the ability to, like, fly as a squad, which seems pretty cool. But then I'm like, well, why can't you... Can you not do that for regular flying? Like, can people not fly as a squad in general? Seems like the same tech could just be applied over to folks on their skywriting mounts. I mean, I could be absolutely wrong. I do not know code well enough, nor how this game is built well enough to say one way or the other, but you'd assume it's similar. Quickly plant these bugs for the Viscount. They slow motion fall into place. Very suspiciously. There, I missed you. Come on, hope you get, little bug. There's one here underneath. I do like the City of Threads. I wish it was a little more I suppose Blizzard never tried to sell it as Suramar 2.0. That's kind of an expectation the player base put on it. And maybe there are more aspects to it I simply haven't discovered yet, because I haven't spent much time beyond just doing a few world quests and the odd rumours. But I haven't heard anything like crazy in the bits I hear from folks. There was like a hidden secret quest in the
Information has always been an exquisite
in the nasty spiderweb caves underneath, near where you find the Pathfinder Albert, and that side quest is a whole thing of its own. Do not play if you're scared of spiders. But near him, there's like a bit of the cave on the side with some tiny spider critters you can't click on and don't have names. And if you kind of jump up there, there's like holes in the wall. You drop down one of them, you'll fall in a void pool. You'll find a book. And something will happen with that book. And then you need to go and find... Not the biggest of spoilers in the world, but still, I want people to discover it themselves. You will then need to find 4 things throughout the zone. You just get an achievement for doing it. No transmog or alt, unfortunately, but still. It was a fun little thing. And for all I know, each zone has something like that I'm simply unaware of. I like little secrets like that, though. Especially in this age of information out there all the time, constantly. It
Forces are amassing once more.
It was really fun.
Time to ensnare them in our web.
Other than a friend pointing me in that direction, didn't have to Google any of it neither, which felt good. Those Hallerfall ships are always a little further away. Yep. Hate these spider mines. Not going to make that in time. Hang on, I didn't... Wasn't aimed at anything, game. Glory of Delves. And I'll have a look at that in a moment. We've been doing some delves. Ah, it's getting all those different ones. Yes. War Master's getting them done. Treasure one's just doing different delves and finding treasure. We keep swimming one. Well, I assume that one's going to be doable because now we started bringing underwater potions to those goddamn things. After a chat member reminded me last time I was doing underwater delve. Oh, remember, you can just go buy underwater breathing potions. Oh! I hated the bubbles in there that would shoot you off the edge. Absolute pain in the ass. Take candle, complete Cobalt delve without exhausted. I swear I'd done that one without exhausting a candle, but I'll have to keep that one in mind. It should be doable over time. Easy enough. Spider sense. Complete a Nerubian delve without spawning the... Listen. Sometimes, Bran just goes and stands on webs. Sometimes, webs just spawn underneath my feet. I think you're right there, Ramiz. That seems more than doable. Take that other bit. What's the other one? Daystormer. Complete the Order of Night delve. And Order of Night delve without being targeted by artillery. That I'm pretty sure I'd managed. Maybe just getting caught on the side. And I'm only really doing delves a couple days of the week. I tend to do a couple after doing these weekly caches, and then tomorrow I'll do the other bountiful delves. I'll do another set of them, rather. Oh no, you're not part of the world quest. As a solo player especially, I do like what delves do to the game. Obviously they've had a few kinks to work out. And the balancing was an issue for some folks. I know they still need to get that down. especially on the more squishy classes. I think as a piece of content and something to focus on over the course of a season, players who haven't really had much, like you can only do world events so many times. What's the mount for it, actually? Ivory Goliathus. Let's have a look at that. Right. What? It's an armored bug. Okay, it is cool the bug is armored. Not my cup of tea. But it'd be pretty cool to get nonetheless. Let me get these flyers out of the air. Is that what this is for? Oh, it helped. Goddamn lantern.
It's too far away.
Do a touch of off healing for folks. Them out. May the sacred flame shine upon you. I'm sure it does. Until we have to go and fight the Light Emperor. At some point. I wonder when. It missed!
Get closer.
Garbage rocket. There you go. One down. Like, we know Zalatath needs to absorb more cosmic elements into the Dark Heart. He's got 3 of them. He still needs life, light, and fel. Light feels like that's what Midnight's for. That's going to the Sunwell, right? That's going to take light from the Sunwell and doom us all. Whereas the other 2, well, fel is probably going to be Sargeras' sword, because that is a big fel object that is, like, in the planet still. Deep into the earth, that seems like a no-brainer. It is life, that's probably the biggest question mark. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something to do with the Haranir and the roots that they've been looking after, cultivating. There are lots of hints, like in the Chronicle book and elsewhere in the lore, that Zalatath is tied to those roots in some way. But that's her as maybe another old god that has either been forgotten, imprisoned, bereft of its power. Who can say? Certainly a lot of ways to go with it. I did expect by the end of the campaign that more questions would have been answered than we got. I think I probably should have expected that. Did have a proper arc though, and a conclusion that happened not in a raid, which I'm quite happy about. I loved all the stay a while and listens as well. There were some that I didn't find, or I was told about afterwards, like, oh, if you go to the Nerubian, the Weaver's place, and while the quest never directs you in there, if you just go to the inn after the campaign, you have the widow talking to the queen. That's a nice little bit. Or the fact that you could even talk to Khadgar at the events at the end of the campaign with Valyria by just going to the council room in Donegal, which that's not a room I just go into on a regular basis. not sure what they could necessarily do to point people more in its direction. A lot of damage suddenly, a lot of damage.
Perhaps
We're fine.
this time
We got
will
through.
learn. If not, we'll sear the lesson into their hearts again.
There we go. Bag of gold. Weekly cash. That's another BOE. Alright. Oh, I should probably spend my honor on those gems and send them to my invoker. Bob them in the war bank rather before I forget. Let's go turn in Eyes of the Weaver. And what else we got? We got some, hang on, we got some snuffling that needs doing. What that wax? What that wax at? Usually you glance around long enough on the floor, you start coming across them. Kinda wish they showed up on the minimap, or at least they gave you a toy that let that be a thing, or a consumable in some way. Mushroom! Gimme me wax. Delicious. Maybe the snuffling upgrade just gives more crafting materials rather than one amber we got free there. Hard to say. Bit of bismuth. Ah, there we go, there's another. I love all these different like wax mini games that end up coming out. The like mini wave defense you get, defending the gold bag from kobolds. I like that one a lot. I like randomly when a blob of goo spawns and you have to bounce on top of it. I don't like the one where a kobold turns up and starts lobbing wax about because he lobs it too far. He's taking the piss with that one. Is I don't know, even mounted it was hard to A, keep an eye on them all flying through the air, and B, actually get to them in time. But I like that just extra little bit of variety for something that can be just that, where you dig up the ground, item spawns, open it. Dig up the ground, enemy spawns, kill them. So I like when the variety happens randomly like that. I hope they do more like that. Stuff like that, or what we started earlier in the Hallowfall bit, spreading the light and the quest and zone kind of opening up organically as you play more of it. I really enjoyed that, doing that on an alt as well, and I expect I'll be leveling more alts in there quite often as time goes on. Hello, Bobbin. Hey, we got the transmog. And the Weaver's full. Excellent. What can we get from her for it being full? And a cosmetic flare from the Weaver when using your notorious Fred's Hearthstone. I do not believe I have that Hearthstone at the moment. Where is that sold? Assumably somewhere here. It's not you, you're the generals. Should just be the quartermaster, I'd assume.
You have questions. I know answers.
No? You don't have a Hearthstone? Give me those shoulder pads, though. Not really for the paladin. Well, we could maybe make a set around them. We could do maybe tomorrow we do a bit of a transmog change. Try and get some regal spider outfit going. Very fancy. Who on earth has the Hearthstone then? Is it you?
Interested in the unusual?
The pheromones. Oh yeah, there's the Hearthstone. Let's have a look at this then, because I find the concept of changing how a Hearthstone looks to be really interesting. Let me bob that down here for now. Not down here. I've got my old fishing hat, which I do not need. Web. Oh, we just become web. That's pretty silly. So then... Right. So that added it to the Hearthstone, which changes it like I don't... Is it just more threads or something? I'm not quite sure. Do those stack? Like, when you get all 3 of them done, is that just 3 bonus effects on your Hearthstone? Or do you then have to keep buying them to reset it in some way? I like the idea, though, of, like, you get a Hearthstone and then you can add more cosmetic effects on top of that. I like that. Right. I think, given the time, what we do is we quickly head to Donegal. There's that nasty web portal with its gross noise. There it is. Get ready for the squish. What do you mean by push them, Ramiz? Do you mean like a way to grind them faster? I think we're still a long way out of Season 1. Like, if my casual play and not, like, banging out every world quest or potential way to earn rep every time, like, does it get exponential? Like, is the amount of XP changed from 2,500 or is it always 2,500? I should be able to tell, actually, looking at the different ones. They all seem to always be 2,500. I know at the moment they seem relatively fine from my perspective. Then they do have to last the... Not even the whole season. These things have to last most of the expansion. I think most people playing regularly, judging by the numbers, will get them done by the end of Season 1. Ah, I see. I imagine what they'll do as the expansion goes on is they will, for one, like we have currently, Sign of the Scourge and the Wrath of Lich King bonus there for time walking. I imagine they will have reputation weeks where the buff will be reputation gain. I think if you focus on doing them for those weeks, like going around banging out all these different world quests and stuff. Let's see what else gives it. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh no, I'm good. I'm only half gonna sneeze. Like the dungeon one gives a decent amount. That's like 1,500 a time. That's 2/3 of a level. I think it'll be easier to catch up than you're giving it credit for. But again, over time, I have no doubts they will make that quicker. Not that they'll nerf the amount, just that the catch-up systems will do stuff. Oh, yep, the anniversary event, that's a good shout. If it's like others in the past, they absolutely will increase rep gain. Aye, very excited for the anniversary event. Main goal for that, earning all of the transmog. Very excited for it. Oh, we've got more stuff to chuck in the warbank. Oh, my warbank's going to be so full. Do I have enough of this fish stuff yet? No, I'm missing a sunless lure. At some point I need to hand in these trial of style tokens. I should probably sell this Dragonflight Destiny time thing. I'm not going to go back and do time walking there for the time rifts for a long time. Clear that out of the back. I have this lucky horseshoe, right? That I got in Dragonflight. Let's have it. I've just got I feel lucky. And why would I ever sell that? I know it's not going to interact with absolutely anything at all, ever. But I have it. There we go, there's another one. Right, let's get back up to Donegal. Again, I've said before, when it comes to the tier 2 sets, this might be heresy for some people, especially fellow paladins out there. Not a big fan of the Judgment set. I know. Get him off here. Who let this man stream? I just never liked the design. Like, the design of it was I think maybe it's more my issue with the colour palette. Like, the black, red and gold If it was probably like white gold, silver blue, that kind of thing, maybe it'd be more up my street. But I'd never liked it in the same, almost fanatical sense many people do. Even so, I can absolutely respect the upgrade it has gotten and what I can then do with it for transmog and all those different pieces. Plenty of goodies to get. And I certainly do pray. We're currently wearing like the shoulder pad of the Burning Crusade purple recolor to go with this like... Well, mainly we got these, the upgraded pants with these kind of purple bits with silver wings, and I thought, I need to make a transmog that kind of goes with that. And I feel we did alright there. Getting these honey things out, because I don't know what these are used for. Right, pop everything we can in. Don't fill up. Don't fill up. Still have that one space for me. Oh, no. We already have some stuff going about. Oh, the idea of getting to 500k. I just need to start selling stuff. Maybe over the weekend I clear out the Dragonflight part of the bank. Maybe we don't need this. Because that still spills over into the rest of it. I'm absolutely about full on all of it. Disenchanting. That's what I need. I just need to level up my ult that has enchanting on it. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly us over to the theatre, which will start in about 8 minutes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick bio break. While we're waiting for that. How that do? Just bob it in the chat for those who join. Tappity tappity tap. We go. Alright. I shall be back in a moment. See you soon. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Get my headset back on, get shuffled back into the desk. Wee, loud chair. Have a swig of us cold tea. Make sure you're all staying hydrated out there. Keep supping those beverages. Alright, the theatre is filling up. A new side quest? Probably one of these quick theatre ones.
I'm very busy.
Oh, we've got to, got to go back into our earthen voice. You've done very well as an actor on stage, Burrow. But as an actor in a troupe, there are other directives we must carry out. One directive is to preserve our costumes for use in future plays. Many costumes we use more than once. I think we can trust you with using and preserving the troupe's costumes, don't you think? It would mean you could practice with us more frequently.
Do come back for the show.
Oh, it was just taught to him? We didn't even go and help your costumes. What do you mean? Excellent. I cherish every barrier I can remove between an actor and their directive. Treat the costumes with care. We'll remember using them in future plays, remember. Good luck. And don't forget, you're part of the troupe now.
I will return.
I feel like the... Oh, he just put it there to show us how it worked. He didn't even have us interact with it though, which felt odd. But the Earthen are often just very monotone and speaking down here, and we have voices like this with a slightly odder cadence. But for the ones in the theatre, we try to give them a little more pizzazz. Let's have a glance at people's transmogs. Oh, hard to do so when they're a pile. Void Elf at the front, very minimalist outfit. I like the colour scheme this Lightforged Draenei's going for. Got Fancy Hunter over here. It's using like one of the old blue like Wrath PvP sets, not even the fanciest of them. I like that. Just got the tier set going. And now it's a pile. Ooh. Shiny Death Knight. Trying to incorporate pieces of the human heritage armour in there. The very classic Skull Sword. Whose name I've forgotten, without remembering just the South Park version. The theatre has begun.
A messy stage makes for real broken legs. Best clean it up.
Absolutely disgraceful behaviour. Get this sorted out. That was probably many years ago. And I had like a really big night out, but I remember going to a pub one time where the floor was so sodden in a similar way to that Cinderbrew on there. It was just, every footstep you took was just this squelch on the ground. It was... I'm glad the Earthen don't have it that bad with their Cinderbrew. Blue? Cinderbrew. That's the word. Come here, Gorloks. Don't know how you came to be here. Or why you're spawning out of that pond. Need a follow-up quest. Where are they coming from? It's an empty pond, like... Not even a pond, like... Hello, Gerwig. He's our fan. Or the star of the show. He's too much. Of the evading ones that spawn in here. This has been going since the event started. I imagine it's probably one of those harder bugs for them to fix.
Let's give it to them.
Throw goblets at the audience. Would not pass health and safety anyway. Here, giant metal gold goblet. There you go. Get absolutely beamed in the face by one. Mind you, it'd be a nice piece of memorabilia if someone's just going to chuck gold at you.
A messy stage makes for real
Gerwig.
broken legs. Best clean it up.
Shine them all. Get out of it, Gerwig. Quickly rub this ink with our hands. One day they will change that animation of interacting with stuff. Maybe it's nostalgic. Maybe they've had that conversation like, you know what, it's not worth removing. People like the random, we clutch our hands and twist a little bit. Maybe one day. That seems like it'd be a bigger overhaul. Especially with the focus on evergreen systems that started in Dragonflight. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a lot more in the pipeline that involves reworking really old systems. And I know the warband technology took them a really long time in this ancient game to get working, and they probably, on a technical level, I can only assume, having to go back and redo code from way back in the beginning to figure this stuff out. And it's probably why a lot of cross-faction stuff is still not in the place. Like, people still want to be able to group with friends regardless of faction and do content together. And there's still a good chunk of those you can't.
It's our directive to keep this venue
I think if
spotless
Blizzard
for our
wanted
audience.
to, or rather, they do want to, and it is just a technical limitation they're having to work with. I think with the World Soul Saga in the interviews they've said as well, they're not at the point of... Oh, get off me, Elite Mushroom. They're never going to be at the point of a WoW 2. I think that would just be a universally bad idea. At least at the moment. I said after the World Soul Saga, that's just then going to let them set up the next 20 years of WoW story. Especially for those of us who've been around since the beginning. And I know I'm on the... not necessarily the younger end, but somewhere in the middle. There are folks who were, you know, in their 30s when the game first came out. Or folks covering the games industry in general, or playing games, and who got into WoW then. That do want to see an end to the story. Or at the very least, a big overarching arc.
Fix it again. It's never finished.
It begs the question, when the World Soul Saga's over, do we somehow go back to Horde and Alliance, faction warfare? Are we ever going to be able to get back to that point? We know they want to serve the PvP player base more, but that doesn't mean the story has to go in that direction, but... Because what's happened every single expansion is we start fighting each other, a greater threat emerges, we come together, we sort it out, and then maybe we go back to fighting or not. Maybe with the new blood coming in from different factions and allied races, we saw Turalian and Warlord Geira from the Magar Orcs having a bit of a back and forth, from gentle joshing at each other. But we're a far cry away from, okay, some of the stuff's happening in Mists of Pandaria at the time. Certainly Battle for Azeroth. Just always wondering what's next for the game. Where will they take it? The Titan's coming in at the end of the World Soul Saga in Last Titan. And if we're dealing with the Void, from what they said at BlizzCon, when we deal with the Void in Midnight, we are dealing with it. Not, it'll possibly be out there again, but we're dealing with it. It's hard to know how hard they'll go with any of that. You've got all these cosmic forces. Surely you're going to keep using them throughout the game's lifespan, but remains to be seen. I'm here for it, though. Morrowind started very strongly, I feel, compared to a lot of our expansions. There's a lot of folks, as we said earlier, who've come back, been enjoying themselves, regardless of what kind of player you are. More focus on evergreen systems and the game building itself up more. I think the game having more competition helped as well. When Shadowlands did so poorly, for a variety of reasons, folks went and started playing other MMOs. You saw huge amounts of migration between games, which in turn, WoW then had to be better. As those games have been played by more and more people, they got more and more feedback. And those games can improve as well. And have been, and there's been missteps for several of them going forward. Over the years with WoW, I've had dalliances in other MMOs. Like launches of new ones for a month or so. Tried Star Wars The Old Republic, tried Terror when that came out, tried Ion at one point, tried Rift. Started around all over the shop for a while there. Plenty of free ones that I can't remember the name of some years ago. Played Final Fantasy XIV for a good bit of time. But ironically, it was before everyone started getting really hyped about Shadowbringers. By the time Shadowbringers came out, I was kind of done with the game at that point and was heading back to WoW, so kind of missed the best of it. But I really enjoyed what I played, and Heavensward stands out as a very enjoyable bit of content. I heard Guild Wars 2 is doing wonderful things with itself. But having healthy competition is so important. And it has pushed WoW to keep its top spot, just in terms of numbers. Which I think the moment the game re-released in China, that was never in worry of losing those numbers to that point. And Blizzard are in that unique position to be able to say, oh, we have retail WoW, we have classic WoW, we have hardcore classic WoW, and we have Season of Discovery, which while I'm never that bothered by classic, I don't want to relive re-earning weapon skill. You know what I mean? Those elements of the game I just found frustrating when I played it and experienced it when I was younger. There isn't that nostalgia there for me. Season of Discovery, changing things up and adding new stuff, I do find fascinating. And I hear some wonderful stuff about it. Let's hand in our encore to Faerun.
We are a light in the darkness. Can you feel it? Belladar hums with joy, with hope.
A nice 3k gold from there. I'll probably put some of my gold in the war bank, actually. It's because my alt spent a lot of gold getting some enchants for his PvP stuff.
My prices to be reasonable.
Let's see, we'll deposit 50k in there. There you go. Still need to level up a tailor so I can get whatever this Weaver line thing is. Right, I think now we do a few of these blacksmithing orders, get them out of the way. I forget that you still can't do crafting orders from the war bank, but they are adding that. That's something that will come into the game with the anniversary patch. Which is good, because this part of it where I now have to go in and pull my stuff out to then go and do the bits of crafting I need is a little frustrating, but if it's being resolved, I'm happy. I think that's all my mining stuff. Yeah. Oh no, hang on. There was still Akrite. Nope, sorry player.
I have calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Right, I saw you. Alright, that should do us. Let's see what patron work orders we can do. The progression reworks. Another one of those evergreen changes that came in Dragonflight. They feel slow, is my only issue. It feels like it takes a really long time to level any of them up. But overall, I like the depth of them. I mainly just go through them to unlock the different things to craft to eventually unlock all the different transmogs in time. Right, let's see what patrons we get. We will not be doing these purple ones because that requires... Oh! They're adding the Sanctified Ally for once. Ooh! That helps. Reward is just 1 knowledge, though. Which is not great. How much of the Iron Claw one can I make? 2 there. So if I... get another 6 of these... Still need an alt to give myself slightly better blacksmithing stuff as well. I like the ability, it's something I tried to do in Dragonflight, is create an alt train of professions to feed into itself so I could be self-sufficient in that regard. But especially when we didn't have the war bank back then, was a little more difficult and troublesome just to send stuff around. So it became more hassle than it was worth. 6 more. Now, it's a lot easier. I just have to get that alt train moving. We got the evoker up to 80. I noticed we had that buff for getting characters to 80, giving a bonus to XP gains. So that's at 10% now, and I assume that goes up by 5% for every character you level up to 80. Well, I'm guessing there is a cap. Must be like 25 or 30% seems reasonable. Alright, that's those done. It counts as the first craft as well. Let's start that order. Thank God they give the sanctified alloy. We don't need to use our concentration. Alright, fill that in. Hey, there's some bonus stuff for it being a first craft. Let's see for the Great Belt if they do the same. Nah, this one doesn't give us the sanctified, so absolutely not, because that stuff requires the tinder boxes and the null stones, which are rare as bugger. About this face smasher. Nope, same again. That's way too much. Let's see what these give. That gives 1 knowledge. 2 knowledge. See, that one's like absolutely want doing. That one's acuity and an optional. The Dirk. Acuity and an optional bag. This random green gives 2 knowledge. That gives 1 knowledge. Hang on, where was the other one? The Razor Stone. Do not have the recipe though, and takes a null stone. Alright, we'll start with the legs then. That gives us that knowledge. Let's make a few of these to have some in stock. I couldn't tell you how useful folks find the crafted gear in terms of how well it stacks up against like the gear you can get from different pieces of content. Andy in the chat, I think the max XP bonus is 25%, it's capped at 5 max level characters. Well, that's alright, 25% is still a hefty bonus. I don't think that's too bad. I think if it went indefinitely, you'd get to a scenario where those people with more than 10 ults, like, 100% gain there. Is that unreasonable at that point? I'm sure plenty of folks wouldn't mind. Maybe if you've got that many ults, there shouldn't be a cap, but I don't know. Then you think to the point, this person has 30 ults. They have 300% XP gain. Hang on, no, it's 5% per ult, so that'd be 150%. But even so, you know what I mean? At some point, the numbers get unruly. That'd be a bit of a bother. Right. Let's grab those rewards. Lovely, lovely.
What brings
and in the commission.
Winds be at your back.
Some leather. Bump up our knowledge. Keep working on the specialization. Oh, the other one was blacksmithing too. I thought one was mining. Right, that means we can max this out. Which means we can unlock the fan braces. That is all of the different bits that I'd need for transmog. And for weapons... Where was I going with weapons? Believe. Wanted to craft a two-handed sword. What's the daggers? Oh, we already got the charged claymore. That's why I put a point into here. Right, I remember. still want to be able to craft the rest of them, though. So, get my blades next. The Ever-Burning Forge seemed like focusing on a buff to improve like the stats you gain from it, which that's a part of the new profession stuff that overwhelmed me to the point where I'm like, I don't quite get it, and I'm not making stuff for other players. It's all for me, so I don't mind that much. Right, let's do our follower dungeon. Right, and I imagine there's always some point I'll do LFR. What are we at? The brewery. Let's see, as expansions go, I wonder if that bonus will assumably disappear when the next expansion comes out, whenever the level cap goes up. Especially if you're someone who's got a load of different heirlooms fully maxed out. I've got a couple, but nowhere near to the point where they're fully maxed by any means. But you can certainly get those numbers to be pretty high for leveling. Goblin Lady's great. Almost a shame she gets killed at the end, I think. Clear out the bar. With the current state of follower dungeons, don't have to worry too much about stuff. I have died in a few of them, I will admit. Well, either I didn't quite get the mechanics straight away, or ads got out of hand. There was the, in the Priory of the Dawn, final phase in the boss there, where a load of, like, priests start running up the stairs. For whatever reason, loads of them spawned, and none of the followers were doing any damage to them. So I got swarmed and murdered. But it's more funny than frustrating. And in here I got killed as well, because I didn't realise the mechanic of picking up the beer and taking it to people. I thought we were chucking the beer. So I was stood at the bar clicking on the different beer steins being like, why isn't this working? Oh no, I'm getting swarmed by angry drunk patrons. But then next time round it was like, oh wait, I get it. And again, the group of players, I wouldn't have had that luxury. I think maybe in the first couple of weeks people would still be pretty chill, and I don't know where the toxicity starts in terms of, is it still a problem just in normals and heroic? There were certainly some leveling dungeons. Now Lass was doing group stuff like that and trying to bring an alt through where people were still being arsey, even leveling through with assumably new players. Don't stand in the fire. Everyone's standing in the fire. Do a bit of off healing. Right, here he goes.
Where's my drink?
I'm finding your drink. There you go. There's your drink. Come on, team. Drinks out there. Oh, I wanted to throw it to that back one, but sure.
Another one.
Another. Look, the followers are doing it on here. Helps. There we go. Turn into spider. Avoid the poodles. Are those the puddles where if we step on them they get smaller? Maybe they were. Alright, let's keep moving on through. It's fun being spider.
Are you here to help? My zeal to get back in business led to faulty listening.
Your pal here signed some papers he didn't read. And now Goldie Baron bought up his treaty over this joint.
The bee puns I care a little less for.
Please get my meadery back, Outlander.
But enjoy the voice acting. Enjoy them having fun with it. Especially when there are so many serious ones in the War Within. Remember, Warcraft's always been silly. From the earliest days of clicking on peons too much until they get annoyed at you. Well, I think it would be lovely to go back to a place where we could see a Warcraft 4. Don't find it likely they'll do an RTS. It'd be pretty cool. I don't see it being likely. There's that book that came out recently from Dracian Schreier, talking about the internals at Blizzard. I think it's called Play Nice, which you can currently get an audiobook form of. I'm waiting for the hardcover, which comes out in December. But I'm really curious to read that and dive into the behind-the-scenes stuff and learn just how things went down. I know there's a load of videos and people covering it, but I want to read it myself. Well, Activision, as much as I know, certainly had a large part to play. The internal culture at Blizzard certainly had its own bloody problems, unfortunately. I am glad we are past the days of that. The devs seem to be happy, they're working hard, they're listening to the player base. Dragonflight, and more so the War Within, very much a good sign going forward for the life of the game. I'm here for it. Very much why I wanted to start streaming as pre-patch launched and the Warband stuff came in. Did a little bit of remix as well on stream, that was a lot of fun. Being Cho every day while doing the Raid Finder stuff. I'm glad he's coming back for the anniversary actually, that's a really good choice. Love his storytelling, love his voice acting. There'll be plenty of streams where we are just sat listening to Cho again, I look forward to it. These beers out of the way. I've also died in these follower dungeons for being a little overzealous in pulls, thinking, oh, me and the followers can take on like 3 packs or so, and no. No, they cannot. Maybe if I was the tank or the healer. Certainly not as DPS. You end up pulling a load and they end up booting you in the face pretty quick. All that brew cleared up. Don't stand in them. Words of Bran echo in his heads. And I had hoped to do a few delves today as well. I think we're pushing time just a little bit. Maybe get one done. Depends how long it takes in here. I can't imagine we'll be ages. Alright, big elemental.
An elemental made of mead? Oh, my cinder brew! One, but I cannot process this.
Don't stand in the goop. There we go. Baron.
That meat elemental took months of R&D. You goody-goodies don't know who you're dealing with. You do any more damage, and I'll cash you out, you hear me?
Oh, a cooking pot. That requires chef skills. Get some honey from it. I can't remember what this was used for. Oh, it's a 3-minute buff where we can chuck honey at things. Just on the end of his weapon. Very silly. I wonder if it's all useful on the higher difficulties to someone. I know tailors have been getting different bits and bobs in some dungeons as well. Where they're able to loot bigger piles of cloth. Which seems like a very pleasant change for him. Clear out the bees. Few more. Just a blob of honey. Won't stand in it. Don't let people be shot. Well, we're not in much danger. I do try and pay attention to the mechanics. The ones that exist in here. Completely forgot to go into the Great Vault when the day started. Although given we might have found like an upgrade off the world boss maybe, or something like that, it's probably alright. Mainly looking for... what was left? I think all the other delve gears up there. It was just a chest piece, I think. That was the only one behind everything else. Maybe a weapon. Uh-oh. Hang on a minute, maybe a little overzealous there. With a bit of crowd control. I wonder if I can shoot the other enemies. I probably tried that. Aye. Too soon, Wrangler. Too soon.
My bees! You put them in cages? They should be free gathering pollen in the forest.
We have to lock up.
I think Bratton's a little odd for the other Earth, and he seems to have a lot more energy to his voice.
Just makes their honey spicier.
Falcon was probably one of the better. While Merrick's kind of exemplifies the dialogue for them, I like him a lot. Whole dual identity thing he had going on too. More bees. Alright, try and shoot in this time.
It's too far away.
I think that did damage to it. Oh, whoops. Paying attention to more than one mechanic. I never claimed to be great at the video game, but I play a lot of it. B-boss.
I'm out of range.
Time to bust out my bees. The best for my bees. Hot honey coming at ya.
I think we can kill this one before the mechanic becomes a problem. Something about riding the bees into the honey barrels.
Flap those wings, darling.
Watch, there'll be a one-shot that happens before I get him. Nay, sorted.
The bees. Now.
We should use them to make a beeline to Goldie's office.
I need to get
Come back to the taps to use them.
A beeline, he says. To the bees.
You're really trying to be to be in my You take out my bomb man, my prototype, and my beekeeper, and now you're riding my bees like some nature-loving weirdo? I guess I'm gonna have to show ya and your rock-headed friend who's boss!
Go! Gotta kill these yes men. The agree, gentlemen. Concur, sir. Just having fun with it.
Alright, you may have gotten my employees, but
Let's wrap this up.
you're dealing with the CEO herself. You won't be taking this metering from me! Cashing out!
Become Spider.
Averse market.
There we go. Good job, team. I wonder what that gives in scripters too.
She's gone! Oh, thank the
I
Hive!
hope they do more of that and add profession stuff in dungeons.
Error listening
Nice.
to Goldie. But because of you, I can hire back my workers.
No problem,
and get
Wentbrand.
back in business. Thanks again.
Right, I think we've got enough time to run and do a delve or two. Let's check the Great Vault first. I completely forgot. Hopefully it is a chest piece or a weapon. Let's see what we get. Nay, neither. Alright. Could do a ring. Don't need the boots. Or a meh trinket. Well, that ring is well, it's an upgrade on the current ring we've got. So we'll take it. Shame it wasn't the chest piece, but there we are. Can't win them all. Boop. There we are. Oh. Pop things into the bank while I'm here.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
And that's all of it. All of it too much. Eey.
Return.
What they sell as junk.
My directive is to serve.
Repair as gear.
My things.
And the rep one in, and we'll do. Start doing the general next.
Faith. Order.
Oh, just give us a toy. Isn't it nice? Right. Let's go do a couple of delves before we call it for the day. See how long they take. We'll do them at tier 8. The highest we're getting gear at the moment. Until we get that chest piece upgrade, I don't want to push the higher difficulty. Yep. Have we disconnected? Internet seems fine.
Our miners had
Oh, there we go.
tools behind when the Nerubians attacked.
It was
Please
just a
retrieve
blip.
them.
It was just a momentary blip. Oh, wrong cave. Oh, sorry. That's your house. That was very rude of me. Right. Ramis says earlier, let's try get that one on the achievement by not standing on the web. and we unlocked tier 11. However, it's we kind of got murdered by 2 mobs, who just beat us to death at the door. Yeah, Bran. Oh, I don't know if I've done this one for it. Good to see you, but we've got a group of weakened miners stranded up ahead. The ores in here will strengthen the miners. Please collect ore and bring it to them. I don't think we've done this one. I assume I need to avoid these rail cars. You don't seem to be bothered by the rail cart. The Rubian Lord. Right, it stunned you at least. Oh, forgot about the swarm and got hit by the cart. See, it spawned webs underneath me. Absolute swine. Oh, it's because my AoE hit them, and then it knocked me into them, and there's an enemy. Well, we didn't get the achievement that time. It's a tough one for it. To be fair, I completely forgot that breaking the ebbs would spawn their webs everywhere. Oh, donk. No, I was out of range, game. Didn't believe that one. Fear buffing those. What they got? Poisoned claws. Oh no, that's not the Zekfear buff. That's just what he has. I don't get why the buff sometimes shows and sometimes doesn't, but fair enough, game. Thank you, Bran. I much prefer this so far to the huge ambush part of this room. That one's always a little like, hey. Redmancer first because Web Bolt is garbage. As in, it hurts. Yeah, get out of here. Grab the art.
Nice fight.
Some curiosities for Brand.
I need to get closer.
I meant to hit the ankle biter. That. Yeah, we can do tier 8s pretty comfortably. It doesn't mean we can rest on his laurels though. Lest we be booped in the snoot. Four more. find it, Bran. Be patient. Clear out the spiders first. There we go. I like that because we've only been doing maybe, what, 8 or more a week-ish. There's still versions of each delve we haven't seen. I like that a lot. I imagine for the 0.1 patch, whatever delves they add in it, because there'll be less of them than there will be for a full expansion, that there will be more variance in there maybe? They have to build less of the environment, they just have to change what is within it. Which is still work, don't get me wrong. But it's not like you have to make a load of new models for stuff at that point. Especially given this is their first iteration of delves. I'm very excited for what they can do with the feature in future. Who will know if our companion will be? To hazard a guess is either Gazlo, seems pretty likely next time through, or Haranir. Which I'd like. I'd just like more reason to get to know him. That pot.
Nice find.
He's so happy about it. Hello, Finley and Reno. Let's have at it then. More of these little events would be nice too. Get him, Boot. Get him out of here. Where are your Hearthstone voices? Seemed like an easy choice at that point. They have all those voice lines. Even if you were just taking them directly from Hearthstone, that would have made more sense to me than giving, especially Reno, just generic.
Orders, Commander. Good to see you, Commander. Commander.
You know what I mean?
Fantastic.
There's his backpack. The reason I did that first is because sometimes the rewards in the chest can give you his backpack. And when you get it twice, nothing happens. Take this ore miner. Eat it. I don't know why people think the Earthen don't eat and drink when they so clearly do. It's a weird thing I just saw from people discussing them online. Didn't understand.
Nice find.
I'm not standing in it, Bran. You are. There you go.
I need to get closer.
Oh dear. You kept being done in. Are you gonna... Well, he burned, that's fine. And these also not telling me the buff. I just wish it was consistent. If I'm not supposed to know what the buff is, then why does it come up sometimes? You know what I mean? I can't tell if that's a bug or... I'm just going to assume so.
Yes, you're taking the spoils.
Oh, 5 gold, thank you, Bran. If only you were so generous come the end. We're not even worrying about crowd controlling the groups anymore in these. Which is fine, we knew once we get some gear there would be less of a problem. Just stand a little bit more that way, would you? Just a little bit more that way. Yeah, about there. Boop. Ah, environmental kills. To be fair, maybe it's the brand buffs as well that have been helping out an awful lot. I know he's been changed and balanced a good old chunk of times now. There's a point where he was soloing Zexpheros, I learned. Which sounds very silly. I think that first tier of tier question mark Zexpher was alright. Certainly wasn't a mage tower. The way they talked him up, I felt like he'd certainly have a bit more. I'll reserve judgment until we see the question mark, see how well we find that. Grab the checkpoint. Few more to go. Bran, don't stand there. Silly Becca. Completely beamed by the minecart.
It's too far away.
Alright. One more urban. Hey, barely got there. Get them interrupted. Just on the dot. Same with the boss over there. Just make sure you don't have both dots on you at once. And then for us, that's basically fine. Still a shame I don't think on the higher difficulties their mechanics change at all, which seems like a missed opportunity. But again, it's early days for Delves. Alright, General. Pulling the cart from that side. Open the shackle. Grab him more potion, break the egg. That's the damage over time, so make sure we get a heal going. Do a webby cart. Get the interrupt again. Keep ourselves topped off. Keep an eye out for Bran's next wave of potions. There you are. Whoosh goes the cart. Interrupt the shackles. Job done. There we go. And that's all the different stories in that one.
I'll give you a hand with this one.
One more upgrade for Bran to do. Oh, we've only got one story done in that one. Only one done in Kriegval's Rest. We level alts as well. And they end up going in to the different delves. Because each of them has like a lead-in quest. When you go in there, there's like somewhat on the floor. At least for the when I went in on the Evoker, I'm going to assume it's the same for the others. That's a decent chunk of XP from that. Ooh. Somewhat to release. Big chunk of the journey. Very nice. Let's see if we get our chest piece. Not quite. We get better shoulder pads, but they are not a tier set. So they go down here with the weapon. They simply need to be... The weapon needs a bit more upgrading to be better than our crafted one. And those shoulders... We'll have to wait until we get more pieces of our... Hang on. Yeah, it was the shoulders I got as well. So I'm going to have to wait before replacing those, but they can stay down there for a while. Hey, fantastic. Alright. Let us leave. Get back to Donegal. Oh, need to leave properly. Let's go give that to Elise. Am I limited on how many of those undercoin things I can get? No. That's all well and good. Oh, Elise. You as well could have just had a couple of Hearthstone lines.
Be careful.
There you go. Now we're looking on this. Almost halfway there with another couple of months on Season 1, assumably. Looks like it'll be pretty simple to get all the way full.
What are your orders?
Get your Hearthstone voice, Reno. That one. Got all these transmogs to eventually get as well, if needs be.
See you later.
Same with Finley on these. Is it time to start picking these up yet? The only other things he's got for us are warbound gear and some toys. I was like, not the biggest fan. Some of the toys are cool, don't get me wrong, but they wouldn't be my go-to. I'll wait until we can get all these customizational pieces at once, then we'll go have a play around with the dirigible at that point. There we are. A chunk more of those to get. That shadowy one's the one for beating Zekvia ? Which we will get to. I think for now, folks, we'll be calling it there for the morning. So thank you very much for watching. For all those who've come along live, for those who will be checking it out down the line, cheers for giving me your time. Like the video if you enjoyed yourselves, we'll get it through the algorithm to more folks. Subscribe for more content on the channel. We're 5 days a week with World of Warcraft in the morning. And on an evening we play other games. Currently going through a story-driven survival game called The Pale Beyond, which I'm enjoying immensely. I find the story extremely captivating. It's been a lot of fun. We'll have a few more indie games lined up after that, before Dragon Age at the end of the month. So until next time, folks, thank you for hanging, Andy. Enjoy your day too. Much love. Take care. And bye-bye.